Sitting there.
Well, hello everybody. We are here for another Sewn Bee Natter, and we're joined obviously by the wonderful Alistair MacDonald, looking gorgeous, my darling. You do blend in a little bit with your wreath.
Well,
Or
I'm
are you
going. I've got,
autumn?
I've got my 70s sort of like disco
Ah,
Oh,
track.
that's what that is. Oh, sorry, I should take my cardigan off. Yes,
Oh,
got the disco look here.
well done, Wendy. And obviously we are joined by the amazing Wendy Gardiner. Now, anybody who doesn't know Wendy, whether they've been to any of the knitting and stitching shows, she is has been the force over the years behind all of the workshops, the fashion shows. She's been an editor of magazines. Wendy, let everybody know what you're doing as well now, because you lots of exciting things in the future.
Oh, yeah. I mean, officially, I've retired, sort of, a bit, but basically, but I've given up the exhibition organising side of life. But I'm still at the exhibitions doing the presenting on the stage. But I don't actually organise it now. But what I am doing is I'm doing some of these tours with companies like Stitchtopia and also Ahilia Holidays. So and they're quite good fun. So it's combining obviously my love of crafting, etc., with going on holiday to really lovely places.
Yeah, yes. And you get to see textiles all over. When you're asked this, I mean, I do them. The first time I was asked, I was like, really?
Yeah, and
They
you're going
are
to pay me to do
yeah.
it.
And I can go and experience all of these wonderful
Yeah,
things. You will thoroughly enjoy the tours, Wendy. I mean, I love doing them. So I'll put the link for Stitchtopia on.
yes, because
Um,
I'm doing Alsace in France. In fact, in a couple of weeks, and then but next year Florence and Romania.
Lovely, lovely.
So
It'll be fantastic.
it's all hand sewing.
Yes, that's the only
Um,
downside, isn't it?
It's
The
for
hand.
me because I'm a machine shop, but actually I've been really getting into it. So I'm sort of doing more textual work because I felt I don't really want to do patchwork and quilting as such because there's too many excellent teachers that can already do that and do that very, very well. And I don't want to step on their toes apart from anything else. So I'm doing sort of more coming in from a different angle where it's going to be more textural and experimental hand stitching and things.
Oh, fantastic. I look forward to seeing some of the results as well.
mm.
Be great.
Why?
Yes. No. So this week, can I just say though, before we even start, you were very much involved with one of the very first Sewing Bee books, weren't you?
Yes, so it was for the fourth series. 'Cause it's so long ago now, isn't it? So it was
I know.
actually Esme's first series was the book I
Right.
did. So yes, I wrote the book. I was asked in November. We were actually at Harrogate Knit and Stitch Show, and I was asked if I'd like to write this book, and I was like, oh, God, yes. I mean, how
Mhm.
exciting! That'd be fantastic. And then you know how these things go on, to and fro with the contracts and stuff. So I finally got commissioned like late December, well, about 20th of December, and my date to send it all in was the 15th of January.
That's so Christmas was cancelled.
Christmas was cancelled. So basically, I had Christmas Day and Boxing Day because obviously I had my family were quite young, or were, and then my friend Claire Tyder said she
Oh,
very stupidly said, "Do you want any help?" Yes.
yes. Oh, well
So
done,
she
Claire.
agreed, and she did, bless her. So she and I just worked like mad dogs for the rest of the
Amazing.
time to get it all done.
Amazing. Oh, that's great. It's a great link as well that you have with the whole
It is.
series.
It's
Yeah.
nice because obviously I had the link from that from writing the book, but I also went to see. In fact, it was episode 2 of series 4 that I went to see filmed, so I could meet
Right.
producers and everything like that, and obviously Esme and Patrick. So I could see actually how it was all filmed. So that was really interesting. And then subsequently, I've got to know a lot of the bees because they come to the knit and stitch shows, Festival of Quilts, Stitch Festival. They love it. They all come to the shows, and I've actually managed to get them to do catwalk shows and
Mhm.
Q&As. And the last couple of years, we've done challenges on the stage.
Uh-huh.
Last
Yeah.
year, so had another very fun catwalk show, which was called We Three Queens, didn't we, Alistair?
Yes. Yes. We did.
Oh, I heard about that. I heard
Yeah.
it was about. I heard Grace was called you. Well, she had a clapperboard from Strictly Come Dancing. She had your score on it, and it had another word for you on the back.
I know Grace was very naughty that day. How you held it together?
Extremely naughty that day, yes. But it made a very entertaining show, and we had so many good reports of it, the whole thing, because we had. I can't even remember her name now.
Chanel.
That's it, Chanel from.
I call her Channel.
Yeah, sure. And she was really lovely, actually, because obviously she's got quite a TV presence, but she was very down to earth and really charming and lovely. And then we had
Selma Screams.
Selma Screams.
Yeah. Selma Screams.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can never remember that it's Selma or Senna. But yes, and again, she was very good. And in fact, at one point when I said he, because obviously I know Luke as Luke, and my AV guy said she, and Luke overheard and just said, "It doesn't matter, he, she, they, I don't care."
Well, I was in the audience that day. It was a fantastic show.
It was really fun.
Yeah, it was really funny. Yes, definitely. Okay, so shall we talk about this week's Sewn Bee?
Yes.
Obviously, we've got all the girls now, and it was Music Week. And the very first challenge was not the easiest, I didn't think. It was 4.5 hours, and it was a pattern. It was a corset, cone-shaped bra inspired by Madonna. And it was required to have the cones quilted. They were using fusible wadding. Then they had been given packs of mesh and elastic, which caused a bit of controversy because they were all colour coded and people were, the usual fighting over why do they not just put 2 or 3 of black and 2, but never mind. The judges wanted the cones to be sewn well. They wanted to make sure that the spacing of the quilting was correct. And then when they put the cones into the corset, they needed to do what they called sink stitch and what we would call, which I avoid like the stitch in the ditch. I avoid like the plague.
Patrick did call it stitch in the ditch, but Esme, because she comes from an industrial background, really, she calls it sink stitch.
Sink stitch.
I think both describe it very well.
Yeah,
and it's a pattern to do. But
it is. It is, and especially if you choose a contrasting thread, like Anna did, which was the black on the red. So I'm going to come straight to you, Wendy. What did you think of that challenge?
Well, I think, and I say this every year, I think the contestants are better than ever this year. I think that their challenges, that was hard. It's a pattern challenge, and it's supposed to be how you read a pattern properly, but it was very challenging in itself. And to put, a cone into another shape and then to put boning in, and you've got this limited amount of time. I think they all did incredibly well. I don't know what kind of boobs would have gone into those cones because they all had like crumpled ends because nothing was going to fill them, was it?
I don't think my moves would even have fit in there.
I don't think even mine would have done, and that's saying something. But one thing that Patrick said, he said it was a fiendishly difficult task, and I absolutely agree. I think it was. One of the things I would have said to them when they were doing the circles, I would have said to use the edge of your foot as a guide, move the needle, because if you're using a straight stitch, you can use the width button to move the needle, and then you just use the edge of the foot as a guide all the time to get completely even circles. But I think they did really, really well.
Somebody was mentioning on, I think it was the Great British Sewn Bee Facebook page, and they commented about why didn't they use a particular foot. And Kaz, who won last year, and this has been confirmed by other people who we've had ex-bees, they do have the feet there. It's sometimes it's they think it's a time thing. They think it's saving time by not using a correct foot or whatever's in the machine. A bit like Anna didn't change the thread because she felt she didn't have the time to change the thread, but it let her down.
It did. It marked her down. I think you're right. And the other thing, one of them was doing rolled hem. She did it very well, actually. Rebecca, she did a rolled hem, but that's on a later challenge. But again, she wasn't using a rolled hem foot.
No.
She wouldn't have to go around it twice. She would have done it once. Sort of thing.
Exactly.
Sticking with this one, I think using the pattern fabric was a good idea because it doesn't show the stitching quite so easily. So that was something to think of if ever you decide to make yourself a cone bra. And I think when they wanted to turn out the sharp corners, I was thinking I didn't hear any of them or see any of them use a point turner to cut the, get the corner out really sharply, or cut the corner at an angle so that it's less fabric in the corner. But yeah, I thought they did really well.
Alistair, what were your thoughts? Because obviously they used the boning and they used the ribbon for the boning. And then one of the girls, actually, it was Emma, I think, a ribbon frayed, and so the boning poked out. And then one of the girls gave us some free stop to help out. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, for a start, this is an iconic Jean-Paul Gaultier design for Madonna. And obviously the one that the Bees did was a very watered down version. There was quite a few things that I don't really understand why whoever developed the pattern asked them, or because everything was pre-described. So I wouldn't ordinarily use ribbon in things like that. I mean, you would normally use a cotton herringbone tape. Also, you would fold the ends of the tape. You don't cut it to the exact size. You would fold it under so that you're tucking it under so that it's a neat finish on the top. Also, you've got to be very careful when you're sewing boning in. Luckily, they were using a stretch fabric, so what you can do is you can actually pull it to sew it, and then it will just bump back. Whereas if you're doing proper corsetry, you literally have to be. You can sew the binding all the way around, usually the top, and then the bottom you insert all your boning. You push it as far up as you can go, and then you have to do that last stitch hemline, if you like, to encase everything in. I always hand stitch things like that, but it was a very difficult challenge. They did extremely well. There was lots of things they're doing. The only things that I would have said, for instance, when you're doing those circles, start from the inside and work out. Don't start from the outside and work in. Because if you ever get a pucker, or for instance, you haven't maybe fused that wadding absolutely perfectly, you'll get the outer fabric on the top, maybe puckering and sort of like stretching, and you'll find when you're going round, the fabric starts to move ever so slightly, so you get ruffles in the fabric. Also, the application of how they got them to actually put the lining in, a very quick way is if you were using a habitai lining, which is wafer thin, cut 2 circles, sew all the way around the perimeter, then use a slashing technique where you cut a little slash in the thing, turn it under, trim it round, turn it under, press it all out, put the actual one with the slit, wrong sides together, and then I would have hand stitched it in. I would not have done stitch in the ditch with that. It just wouldn't. You're opening yourself up to, it's so visible, and if you don't get it just quite right, and to have to that was a lot to ask them to do, to catch the lining underneath accurately. Some of them I thought it was really unfair that they predetermined the color choices, because the thing is, once you've chosen your fabric, if you wanted a black but there was only purple left, but you had, say, I don't know, maybe it's a bright orange, say, like fabric, and it's like everything stands out. I thought that was a little bit unfair.
I agree. So I'm going to bring up, obviously the winner for this one was Heather, and she did the amazing leopard print. Let's have a look at this with the red contrast.
That was beautiful. That really was stunning. Beautiful.
And the other thing was that a lot of people had
the rippling, though, can't you, down the bottom?
Yeah, you can see the rippling.
It's talking about.
Exactly. I think it's because it's wadded, Wendy. I mean, that was another thing that I also was a little bit concerned about was the instructions said fuse the wadding, and then this went straight the way to start sewing with it. Well, as you know, anything that's fusible, you need to leave it a good 20 minutes to adhere. The glue is, you've melted the glue, you've stuck it onto the back, you need to leave it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you need to leave it till it's cooled down.
So,
but
so
I agree
that
with
wouldn't have
you
helped.
about the boning in ribbon. Strange idea. I would have used bias binding at least. And also, of course, you can get the end caps for the boning, which stops it poking out.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I personally think that it all did absolutely amazing. I would have just, my heart would have sunk. A couple of them had problems with the zips as well, where the zips were sinking down. But I think do you not think it's at the stage where they're nitpicking? They're nitpicking on very, very difficult challenges.
I think that because the challenge was so difficult, and then they all did a really good job. So they have to really nitpick, as they did with Anna, saying you can just see a few of the black stitching.
Yeah. Now, I did feel sorry for Adele on this one because, as we know, she went home. But actually, one of the things she said, I've got slim pickings when it came to choosing her haberdashery. She wanted the black that Anna had, and Anna held onto it. It is a race to the tables, as we know. But like you say, Alistair, to go and choose your fabric first, which is what you would do, then you'd choose your trimmings and your linings, wouldn't you? They need to be, I think they need to have a more level playing field on that one.
Yeah. More, I mean, would it have hurt them to have like doubled up on all of those? I mean, I know it could be wasteful, but I'm sure they can use it again at another time. But you're right, to actually, whoever chooses last gets what's left, basically.
Exactly. You've got to be quick on that game, haven't you? So it isn't just a sewing bee challenge, it's also a race to the table to grab what you want.
I think if they just had rolls of the actual haberdashery, or actually just said to them, you will need this from the haberdashery section, and then it would be up to them. So, for instance, somebody might have wanted to have done, say, like a Club Kid-esque one, and they used all neon colours. I'm sure Anna would have, really mixed it up with that if she had been able to get her hands on all those different things. But interestingly, with the zip, it depends what zip you're using as well. So, for instance, if they've got an open-end zip that goes up and it actually locks at the top, which YKK do, then you wouldn't have had that issue. But I think also the pattern, it actually sat rather high up. The zip should have been right here, but it was up. It was up. Yeah, it was almost trying to bring everything together, whereas it should the cone with those cones, it's going to create modesty, but you're always going to have cleavage with it. It doesn't matter how big or how small you are, you're always going to have that. So the zip, if it had sat on the breastbone here underneath, none of them would have had that problem or issue. But I thought they did extremely well. Just another quick tip on the you can use a temporary adhesive spray if you don't have fusible wadding. And just another little tip, I have used very, very cheap hairspray in the past when I've actually wanted to just give a very low tack and just keep something in position. But yeah, I thought they did really, 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 really well.
Definitely.
And if you don't want to, go the whole hog and get the sewn out, do what the presenter did.
She's going to stop traffic.
She definitely would.
When I saw the first ones, I just laughed out loud on that. I thought she's got a really good sense of humour as well.
I think she comes across really well.
She has. She's done very, very well in this one, because I think people are always very critical of the presenter, and there is too much time spent faffing about, shall we say, and clarting about, as we would say up here. But she does come across very well, and she seems really genuine with the contestants, because she actually sits down with them. She's not standing over them. She's not making a joke. I love the fact that she calls Adele Ginger Nut. I mean, she's a ginger, and she just
and Patrick, he's got his own name.
Oh yes, she calls him P-Dog, doesn't she? She's got him sorted. But yeah, no, I think she's got a really good relationship, and I've seen her with contestants when they're not having a good time. she's like sat down and said, I think I can help, and they just talk to me, and within a couple of minutes they're laughing and it's taken the stress away. So hats off to her as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the transformation challenge. In the past, it's always been the most hated challenge of the lot. They have once again thrown another curveball in. So they had a range of bedroom fabric, so it was duvets, curtains, and what have you, and they wanted outfit for pop stars. And they were working in 2 teams of 3. However, they were judged individually. They could use as many items as they liked, and they could use as much haberdashery as they wanted, but they wanted them to dress a band, so the band had an identity, and they wanted it to be cohesive. The 2 teams were Adele, Rebecca, and Heather were on one team, and on the other team it was Emma, Beth, and Anna. I'll come to you first, Alistair. Let's get it out the way, because I know how much you love this transformation challenge. Go for it.
Okay, I'm struggling with the group tasks and then being judged individually, because within any sort of group, you might have a really strong character in that group, and they're the ones that sort of like dictate where everyone's going to go and how it's going to go. But when you get a group that works really well together, I mean, they all worked really, really well together. I thought it when I heard the challenge, I was like, okay. And when I saw them, take the blanket off as to what they revealed, I was a bit like, oh, okay. But in actual fact, there was one clear team. I was team camo all the way. I could have seen the Sugar Babes. I could have seen any young girl group band that my son might be into. I just could see it. They had a very clear concept. They were, I mean, obviously part of the editing as well, but they were communicating as well, and they were taking elements from the haberdashery and they were placing them on the different parts of the outfits. I thought, in actual fact, this was one of my favourite transformation challenges.
Whoa! Stop! Shut that front door,
Alistair. I know it was.
Never thought I'd hear those words come out your mouth.
I know, but I just it was one of my favourite ones, just purely because they gave them a clear direction that they were to create for a pop band. And the country and western one, I really it wasn't my favourite. I didn't really like it. I just thought the other group. Yeah, I see you, mister. My son's just come in from the gym and he's at the back going, like, it'll take a lot more than that to put me off. But literally, yeah, I thought it was, and they deserved that, that group deserved to win. I just felt the whole denim and the pink, it was very girly, but I don't know what type of girl group would have come out and when that was.
Do you not think like your Dolly Parton, God bless her, who were lost, Taylor Swift on the denims? I could see where they were going. I could see the country western.
Backing dancers maybe in it, but not. Sorry? I could see the backing dancers in it, but I wouldn't necessarily have put the actual headliner in those outfits. My personal preference.
What about you, Wendy?
Well, I have to actually agree with everything Alistair said there, because
don't.
I know it's really horrible. It's hard to do, but
Wendy's my friend.
I'm his friend. No, because honestly, I'm with him on the transformation challenge. I don't think it does upcycling, repurposing any favors at all.
No.
I just think and what they do in the time they're given is amazing and fantastic. However, they're not wearable. It's never really wearable. But this was more of a conceptual thing, and I do agree that when you're working in a group like that, you will get one who takes the lead, and you have to actually, because if you all said no, you say, oh no, you say, oh no, God, what do you want? It's not, you're not going to get anything done. So you do need someone who said, okay, this is what I'm thinking, and everybody to come on board. And I think both teams did that. I think they both did. But I think the team which had, it was the
I'll bring
Anna, that one. That team. I think they really all got it, that they wanted to use the black leather, the studs, Oh, you're
put back
using
up.
studs, right? I better put some on mine as well.
Yeah.
Then. And I think that's why that was more cohesive and looked really good.
And I think that was very clever because it was obviously picked up. Now, I can't remember, but the one, as we're looking at the screen on the right-hand side, had all of the studs on. Were they already on, or did they actually get applied on during the session?
I think the one with the little shorts, you mean? I think that had the studs on already, and I think that prompted the studs on the others.
Yeah, which was very good because even the thong on the back of Anna's had that little stud on.
Yeah.
But I do feel that we need to have a quick look at the denim ensemble because I do think that they did a really, really good job coordinating the fabrics and making sure that, because there was a flaw in that one. There was some clever use of the fabrics, and you could see that they tied them all together. Loved it when Esme put the little hat on.
Yes,
I thought that was good.
See, they have, haven't they? They've used for the little top with the skirt and the bell bottoms on the trousers, and then on the little hat, they've used that same print.
Yeah.
Going through. So I think they did really make a good effort. I think Rebecca is very good at making trousers very quickly. She's very good at doing that.
She's very, very quick at doing those. Yes.
Yeah.
So obviously it was then judged into two groups, and then it was watered down. So sadly, Adele came 6th, Heather was 5th, and Rebecca was 4th, and that was determined by the group that they were in. 3rd was Emma, 2nd was Beth, and Anna won that particular challenge. I think the thong was the one that made the decision for them.
But Patrick didn't realise it was a thong, did he?
He didn't. Bless him. No, bless. Maybe you can ask him if he could, because you've interviewed him in the past. But I think that is definitely a question to put in your locker, Wendy. Yeah.
I tell you what, next time I'm on Savile Row, I'll pop into Nordens and Sons and I'll take him out. Just because I'm that kind person, I'll take him to Agent Provocateur. I'll show him all
what it is.
Yes.
Oh, bless you.
I do think one of the things with the judging, though, is which when it's a group thing like that, which makes it more difficult because the punk group came first, they came first, second, third. Whereas if you actually picked out like Rebecca's garment, it was a shame that she didn't come first, second or third or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of like limits where they can come, doesn't it? If
that's right,
they're limited to their position as well. So,
and who's to say Adele would have been last in the group of 6? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a shame.
I think she would have been, though. Actually, I do. Yeah. I think she just wasn't. It wasn't her week. She got that skirt, the way she put the elastic in.
Yeah.
I don't know how she did it because it was very odd.
Yeah.
One thing that surprised me, and I was sort of chuckling myself and sort of in a bit of disbelief when they actually said it, but they were going on about the fit. And I'm like, this is a transformation challenge. They have 90 minutes to take a load of old toot and make it into something. And you're saying, you're talking about the fit. It's like, what? You can't actually distinguish when we actually come to the made to measure what actually is fitting correctly and what isn't. So it's like, how are you now judging them on the fit of the transformation? I was a bit flabbergasted, to be honest.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm just going to plug myself in because I'm on low power mode. Do you not think that's the case, though? They come out with some things that you just think, oh my goodness gracious me, you didn't actually verbalise that, did you? I am on. But never mind. Anyway, moving on to the made to measure.
Yes.
Oh, can I just say, in case anybody picks us up, they got 1 hour 40 the last time.
Yes, they
did. But in a team challenge, we were having a conversation with one of the bees, and we think that 10 minutes, it was Dan, I think it was, said that 10 minutes is probably their group chat, their brainstorming. Yeah. So yes, but still isn't 1 hour 40 from start to finish. I think when Rebecca picked up one of the duvets, she went, oh, that's got a questionable stain on it. So.
But isn't that the one she then used?
Yeah, she used it.
Yeah.
She used it. Don't think I would have used it. But never mind. Anyway, made to measure, inspired by disco. Well, I'm there.
should we do the competition winners? And
oh yes, let's do that. Yes, that's very well, because I've got myself excited.
I'm going to grab a glass of water.
Excellent. So last week's winners of your fabulous book were Jane Carpenter, Jackie Lewis, and Anne Anderson. Now, I've sent messages on the YouTube channel, so please just email me with your address and we can get those out to you. And if anybody has been watching previously and have heard their name, go on, just email sales@six-penny.com with your delivery address and we'll get those out to you. Now, Alistair, I know you've got 2 really good prizes this week.
Yes, I have. So these are, in the packet here, you're getting 20 spools in this packet. Now, they're all random colors and some of them are doubled up, but they're all 100-meter spools. You're getting 20 in there. And it's if you were to buy the Gutermann ones, each one of those would depend on what store you go, about $2.95 each.
Yeah.
So there's 20 in the packet. They are random, but they're great for your stash. And if you're doing overlocking or you're trying out free motion embroidery, all that type of thing, you've got them in there. So we've got 2 packs to give away. And all you simply need to do is leave a comment in the comments box below. It could just be a thumbs up. It could just be a higher. It could just be, I've enjoyed the chat. It's entirely up to you. But just leave a comment and then you're in with a chance of winning 1 of 2 of these spool packs.
And we do read all the comments and thank you for all of them. Yeah, and we've got things stored up for the future as well. So yeah, it's lovely to hear from everybody. Also, another thing that Alistair's doing is if you go onto the House of Alistair website, so it's houseofalistair.com, and type in at the checkout B, the name B, BEE26, you'll get 15% off everything on the website, including sale items. So have a little look at that. So it's B26, and I'll make sure that that's also in the blurbty blurb at the end for you to have another look. Grab it where you can. How long are you going to keep that on for, Mr. MacDonald?
It's on well after the bee has finished. I can't quite remember what I did, but I did put a generous date on it.
And that's why the sale items are in, because he doesn't know how to take that bit off, you see. So grab yourselves a bargains.
Yes.
Bless you. Right, now we will talk about the made to measure. 5 hours, inspired by disco. They did not want fancy dress, but they wanted something glamorous that you would go to Studio 54, for example, or anywhere else that you might fancy across the country.
Can I just say, they kept saying about Studio
54, I know.
I don't know what they're talking about.
I know. I mean...
Was that a disco in London?
Must have been.
Gosh. Come along, ladies. Where have you been living under a rock? This is where Bianca Jagger famously entered for her birthday on a white stallion.
Really?
In New York.
Oh, is it in New York then?
Yeah. So
it's not in London. Oh, right.
Yeah. So it was the most exclusive club when the disco era, sort of like when all the music was happening. Studio 54 was anyone who was anyone. Liza Minnelli was there. Everybody was there. They were doing a lot of naughty things in there. Lots of things and anything happened. If you have a nervous disposition, I would not suggest that you watch the Halston series, which Ewan McGregor actually plays the fashion designer Halston. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you're offended by drug taking and all that type of thing, then it's not the series for you. So please don't complain. But yeah, I mean, there's anybody who was anybody was there. You know, Grace Jones was there. Everybody. It was a massive thing. Disco was, especially at that venue, you had arrived. It was like, you know, if your name's not down, you're not getting in. They had such a strict policy because of because of the caliber of people they had in and what was going on inside the club, like with Bianca Jagger and things like that. Literally, yeah, they had to keep the guest list to a who's who of that wouldn't come out. But it was
that's why we weren't there. What
obviously
era would
we
you
have been invited if we'd been in the country, Kim? You know that, obviously.
Oh yes, obviously. What era would you say? Because to me, disco is 70s.
I would have said that 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you would say that disco started coming in around about, so for instance, when you say the 70s, yes, that's absolutely bang on, but it always sort of like starts sort of like late, sort of like 60s, it starting to change. So the music started to change a lot. It was like a new earth-shattering sound. It was like the music, it was dancing, it was just it was just it was like Dior's new wave, but in the music industry. It was, we had never heard anything like it before. And then Donna Summer came out, and it was just everybody. It's one of my favorite periods in time, musically and fashion. And I just thought it was just, we had an explosion of experimentation and inspiration in the 60s, and then the 70s did not let anybody down. It was an extension, and it was just, everyone was flamboyant. You look at ABBA, for instance, that's an iconic band that epitomizes disco as well.
Except Esme doesn't like them. Did you know? Now, I looked at all. She said it. She said it. I didn't. I looked at all of the outfits that they made.
Yeah.
And I loved the sequins. That resonated with 70s to me. But the person who was pulled for not being in that sort of genre, and I disagree, was Beth. Even because her fabrics were more muted. And Patrick actually said, I don't think it's the 70s. Wendy, what did you think about that? Because I'll find the photograph.
Yeah, I actually disagreed with Patrick there, because they made that decision that her fabric choices weren't right before she'd even made the garments. So they kind of already had made that decision. Yes, they weren't glitzy, but not everybody did or would want glitzy. Did that look like a disco outfit? Yes, it did. Absolutely. With those trousers that were sort of see-through split, with the little tiny halter top, which was beautifully fitted.
Yes.
So, and they made that comment about Beth's outfit, but then Rebecca's outfit, which was the red dress over red trousers, he immediately said that's beautifully fitted. It wasn't. It wasn't badly fitted, but it wasn't fitted. It was loose. It was a big loose dress. Where's the fitting there? And how is that disco? It's a beautiful outfit to go out in an evening, but I wouldn't do that disco.
Definitely not.
I wouldn't.
Well, I'm with you on that decision. The other one that I thought was also, it didn't necessarily, well, it was more questionable, was actually this one here, which was Emma's. Now, the fabrics are 70s, but there wasn't a lot of fitting to that one.
No, it was a caftan.
And it's just a rectangle.
Well, yeah, and also it's cinched in at the waist by a belt. Now, a lot of 70s clobber, if you like, was made out of sequins, was made out of stretch fabric, all that type of thing. But it was then drawn into the waist, and it's very difficult you've got to really look at like things like the shoulders. So if it was a set in sleeve caftan, then you would be looking at whether or not it was on point and it finished and it cascaded off the shoulder. But essentially that was two giant rectangles almost like sewn together. And they have critiqued, it was Sam, I would think it was Sam, the ginger boy who left. He did something that was very A-line and very away from the body. Now, though, that's a very different silhouette, because that was against the body and just gently cascaded off. If that was too big, you would have gotten folds, whereas a caftan, you want the folds. But it's not something you can say, oh, that was beautifully fitted. But also as well, for instance, the hemline, because of the weight and everything of the fabric, it just all fell in. So it looked as if the back was higher and the sides were lower, but that's just because of the volume of the fabric. I would have gone a bit bigger and a bit longer on the sleeves, so it actually ended up being more of a scarf detailing at the side. But to get the proper fit on that type of caftan, you have to shape it so that it comes up, so that when your arms come down, it all flutes all in the one thing, a bit like a baby doll sort of like Bieber sort of dress. It was all perfectly in line. So, but when you actually look at the pattern, if you held your arms up, it's almost like a wing, like a butterfly. So if she had done that rather than just the rectangle, it would have all collapsed and it would have all been on the same line.
Yeah, I just think when they make the comments about the fit, you know, they'll criticize one and then something else, and you just think,
well, yeah, I think that I agree with that. It's you know, it's. I mean, I can't get me wrong. I thought Rebecca's outfit looked absolutely amazing, but I thought you cannot say that's beautifully fitted and it's fabulous and it works for the whole idea of being disco, and then turn to somebody else who had a really well fitted outfit, but not in the colours that you like.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you know, it all comes down to personal choice at the end of it, doesn't it?
It does.
I do want to congratulate Rebecca, because we all know that Rebecca has a penchant for satin. Thank you, Rebecca, for using a really nice quality satin this time, because you see now what I've been going on about in the previous weeks. The cheaper satin, which has that high sheen and real shininess, this one was beautifully mute. And it was nice. It looked as if it had a really nice weight to it. So it was a really good quality satin. But I thought they all did. I think when you're doing disco, it's a very fine line to not making it look like a costume. That is the problem. So if you did like 60s week, you were doing a lot of different things there. If you chose if you didn't choose wisely, it will look costume. So it's a very, very fine line. Yeah, everyone thinks disco and sequins and everything. There was a lot more to that era.
Yeah, of course there was.
Than there was that, you had people like Boney M and all sorts of. I mean, it's also this one here. The undergarments there, very, very disco. The outer garment, that to me is more borderlining on a 60s sort of like silhouette. So it's a bit of a mashup. But the two eras are very close together. So there always is going to be a bit of a mashup between the two.
I think they all did really well. We need to have a look at a quick look at Rebecca. At Adele's. Adele went home, and I think the main reason she went home was because of the fit of the trousers. Had, as Patrick said, she'd done a flat front and got rid of the pockets, I think it would have looked more successful. Wendy, what did you think about?
I totally agree, and I could see that she was struggling with that fly zip right from the word go.
Yeah. There.
And she was. They did sort of say, why sort of thing, but she didn't kind of take that on board. But it did. I mean, the pockets are popping. I think she just had a really bad week all round. The poor thing, really.
Yeah, she did.
It's very, very hard when you've had your first day and you've not done well, and then you've got to go into your second day.
Well, they actually,
foot, aren't you? So
yeah. I think Patrick said that she was at the bottom, and the only way she was going to succeed was for somebody else to have a complete mare on the last day and her do really well, which is a shame. The winner this week, again, because she's getting the wins in, is Adele. Now, the interesting thing with hers was when she'd first developed these trousers, or when she first got the pattern, it didn't have all of that volume of fabric on the legs, and she only practiced on one leg. What did you think of this one? She has actually got a fly zip on there when I'm looking. Is that a fly zip or was it a flat zip? I'll have to have another photograph. It might have been a flat zip for the weight.
Yeah, I mean, not my cup of tea at all, but I can see it was sort of very disco-y. very. I think she's amazing. I think Anna is amazing. She does do some really different things. So yeah, I could see that. But yeah, she has. You know, she's got. Say that
sorry.
again. She's got the pockets in the front.
Yeah, it looks like a fly zip, doesn't it? If I go on that one. Yeah.
You can't really see. She's definitely got the pockets.
Oh, hang on. Oh, look, I'm expanding.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, she has got pockets and a fly zip.
Yeah.
Now, that fit isn't amazing either, if we're going to be critical. It's a bit baggy.
But because they're baggy trousers, I think you can get away with it there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes.
The other thing with that type of fabric, because of the weight of the volume of the legs, that is going to pull everything down. So you really need to back the sort of like hot pant part, if you like, to make sure that it's not dragging like that. But the sheer volume and weight, and also the volume of pleating that's going into that section. This was the pleating part of it. I'm not 100% sure it's necessarily accurate in terms of the genre. But I thought it was beautifully made, and I can't take that away from her. She's a fantastic contestant. She always does think. I love it when she thinks outside the box. But then, interestingly, on the first challenge, now she's done really, really well with corsetry, and she's always done right. But she struggled on that pattern challenge a little bit. So, and they did sort of like pick her up on that. So I don't quite know what went wrong. And also, that was, I call it in the business a bit of a tokenistic boning. So it's almost like, oh yes, I'm wearing a bustier, you know. Yeah. Like, you calm down, love. You've got like 4 bits of boning in there. You know, that's not exactly going to cinch you. It's just going to feel tight around your middle. It's actually doing nothing to alter your shape whatsoever. But yeah, I thought they're really, really beautifully made.
Yeah, my personal favourite this week was Beth's. I know it wasn't sparkly, but I loved the fit of her halter neck, and I loved the trousers, and she had those little pants underneath for modesty pants. So that was my personal favourite. Did you agree with who went home, Wendy?
Sadly, I did. And I have to say, I have done every week this time. Whereas previous series, I've been shouting at the TV, you know, you've got it wrong. But I'm afraid, unfortunately, I think Adele had a bad week. And yes, she was definitely the weaker one of the show.
Yeah. And Alistair, do you agree with that as well?
Yeah, I think consistently throughout the 3 challenges, I just think it was, for whatever reason, but you know, in other weeks she's produced some absolutely beautiful things, and against, and against the clock. I mean, she should be extremely proud of herself for getting, you know, all this way. But it just shows you can, and that's just life, you know. You know, even the professionals, you know, you do have a mare. Sometimes, like when I'm pattern cutting, something's just not fitting, or it's just not doing what it's supposed to do. My tip: walk away, go and have a gin and tonic, and come back to it the next day. And then you'll walk into the studio and you'll go, I know what that needed. Why didn't I think of that? But you're trying to force your brain to problem solve. And so, but when you're up against that time,
they don't have that luxury, do they? At all. No. And it was lovely, you know, the VT at the end. She said it had been fun. It was a dream to meet the judges. And really, she just wanted the autographs and a photograph. That's me and Patrick, which was lovely. Next week, I think it's going to play into Anna's hands because it's Literary Icons Week. And I think that's right down her street with a Victoriana and a period costumes. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with her next week. I'm expecting great things, to be perfectly honest, because it's her.
Well, I like the fan, but I'm also a little worried because we know what can happen. That somebody can be an obvious winner from the word go, and then they get a bad week, and then that's it. And because it's kind of like it's her thing next week. That's a lot of pressure on her.
Pressure.
Have you?
I'm actually looking forward to next week. Hopefully, no stretch fabrics. Yay! Like every week, stretch. And I'm like, my God, give it a rest with the stretch fabrics. Let's see some other different, things, what you can do.
Well, I don't want to see any more underwear. We've had men's knickers, we've had ladies' knickers. Now we've had the bra, we've had the corset. Please change something on the pattern challenge at the beginning, because it's getting a bit boring now, that bit. Wendy, have you got a clear winner for this series, do you think? Or have you got thoughts who might win this?
I mean, yeah, I think that's the thing. I think Anna is coming very strong, but I think Rebecca is as well. She's sort of quietly very, very good. Although, yes, I noticed more this time that the contestants are giving little tips as they're going along. And they're saying things like, "Oh, we're stitching in the ditch, but basically that means such and such."
Yes.
And I think that is quite nice that they're actually imparting some knowledge, because it's a competition and it's all about a TV program. It's about sewing in itself. But it is quite nice for those of us that watch it to see this information coming out. So, yeah, I think she's a good contender, I think. Beth, I'm not sure purely. I think she's got the skills, but I'm not sure that she's got the imagination to ever do the show.
What about you, Alistair? You sticking with anyone?
Now, what did I say? Do you remember what I said last week? No, neither do I.
I might have a look and see if I wrote it down.
I think I said Anna.
Yeah.
But I actually do. Oh no, I said. Well, no.
I think you picked a few.
Yeah, I said the way that it's been edited, we're all being made to think it's Anna. But I think Beth is a dark horse. But this week, another dark horse, I think, is going to be Heather.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen an awful lot about Heather. She hasn't always had the strongest weeks. But I think now there's less of them. I think she's well, I won't say what RuPaul says because that's rude. But it's very complimentary. She's stepping it up.
Definitely, yeah. I think they're all doing well. So we're down to how many next week? Is it 5? 1, 2?
It's 5 next week.
5 next week, yes. So it's getting smaller and smaller. So
it is, and I think Alistair's right. It's sort of we must remember this is edited, so we're seeing it sort of through the edited eyes.
That's right.
And so it could be that Heather's doing marvelously and we're not seeing it yet.
And there's also there's less places to hide, because at the beginning on the first episode, the you've still only got the same time of the program, so they're lucky if they get 1 or 2 minutes. There's more time now. There's only been 6 this week and 5 next week, so there's more concentration. We're probably getting to see more of each of the contestants and their strengths and their weaknesses as the weeks go on. So so watch this space and we'll see what happens. Wendy, can I say, because it's quite late for us, thank you so much for squeezing this in. Really, it's been lovely to see you, and lovely that you've joined us again this week, this season's Sewing Bee. Oh no, thank you very much. And Alistair, I know you're very, very busy man with TV and work and studios, Lion King.
I know, it's here, there and everywhere. And
children. Have you put him in a cupboard? Tell him his Auntie Kim's going to put him in a cupboard if he doesn't behave himself.
But I think you're the only one that he fears, so...
I'm on my way. Okie dokie. Well, I'll say good night to everybody. Thank you again, Wendy, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.